biggest paratrooper unit in the world and the most famous.
Perhaps the most unique capability of the 82nd Airborne Division is to, on no notice, within 18 hours, to put a combat force into the air and go directly into a target area and parachute in and conduct operations.
The 82nd is the Army's only division with what it calls forced entry capability. That is, its troops can parachute into a country or wade ashore, even if there are no friendly airfields or bases to support them.
They jump out and they're trained and equipped to fight. Now, they may not be able to fight a long time without supplies. You know, the capabilities of aircraft to resupply, to drop tanks, bulldozers, artillery, it's truly phenomenal. So even though it's a relatively light fighting force, it's a very, very powerful force.
To do all this takes a special soldier.
Where you at, Alpha Team Leader?
First of all, they can't be average. An average soldier is not going to make it here.
The type of paratrooper, the type of soldier, and the type of American that we're looking for in the 82nd Airborne Division is a highly motivated, enthusiastic, high-energy individual that is smart, shows initiative, and is prepared for the unknown.
You've got to have that inner drive. Nobody can motivate you to do it. You've got to have that inner motivation to accomplish a mission.
That mission requires the 82nd Airborne to be constantly cocked at the ready position. With 1/3 of the division, a full brigade called the Division Ready Brigade, or the DRB, always on a war footing.
The DRB-1 is the go-to-war force. That is the force that is on continuous mission cycle, ready to go to war if the bubble goes up. 19.
No, 0959.
This brigade must be ready to leave within 18 hours on any call to action. Another 1/3 of the division is on training cycle, and the remainder of the division is on support cycle, which means that, among other tasks, it helps the other 2 units prepare their vehicles and equipment for deployment. Each 1/3 of the division cycles through this rotation every 6 weeks.
1, 2, 3, 1.
In order to be on any cycle, you need to be in shape. And every soldier in the division, be it commander or cook, has to have physical training every morning, 6:30 sharp.
1, 2, 3, halt. At ease.
Take it from somebody who deployed 3 times. When the call comes, you don't have time to get in shape. You got to be in shape.
Physical fitness is the cornerstone to combat readiness in the 82nd Airborne Division. That's one of the aspects that we look at all the time. Because that's what we need in order to accomplish our mission.
Every soldier in the 82nd has already gone to basic airborne school where they are certified as paratroopers. And here at the division's home, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, they are constantly honing their skills, from what they do in a plane before they jump to actually leaping into thin air.
Airborne personnel, stand up! Airborne personnel, stand up! Take static line! Immediate aircraft, take left, jump, go! Go! All right, front jumpers! Stand by!
What it does is it gives inexperienced jumpers the experience of actually exiting from the height and exiting through the paratroop doors. It gives them more of a realistic approach on how to exit the aircraft.
We're about to go out of the 34-foot tower, and that's what you practice to exit.
Green light, go!
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000.
You jump out of there, you keep a tight position, and you just kind of swing down here, and they watch you make sure you're coming out so that when you actually do come out of the plane, you're not spinning around and your risers don't get all twisted up on you.
Go!
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. You got twist!
Sometimes it feels the tower is a lot more scary than actually jumping out of the airplane.
Maybe as scary, but not as much fun.
I really enjoy jumping out of airplanes. It's a great feeling. The adrenaline rush is just crazy. I've never experienced anything like that before in my life.
that's what makes paratroopers different from other soldiers, their lives hanging literally by threads attached to a canopy. If that canopy doesn't open properly, the trooper is dead before he can fight. And the parachute won't open properly unless it is packed the right way.
Used to be that an individual soldier years ago packed his individual parachute and then jumped at. But we have experienced riggers that pack the parachute. He's placed the parachute in proper layout. He's folding the gores, making sure a certain number of air gets between the gores, and they fold down and lay across the suspension lines in a very precise way.
Every parachute that we pack, we must jump once every so often. Basically, we pack every parachute as if we're going to jump it to make sure that it is correct, as it was our own life in the hands of the parachute.
It's not just soldiers that must be dropped into a war zone. It's their equipment, too. The 82nd has to be self-contained, meaning they carry everything with them, their vehicles and artillery. So these parachute riggers need to know how to pack heavy loads, such as Humvees and tow missile launchers, so that they land undamaged and can be quickly de-rigged for immediate use.
Take it down some.
Several things have to be determined on this vehicle to rig it correctly. It has to be, you have to know what the center of balance is. You have to know what the weight is. You have to know what any dangerous explosives or anything like that, any dangerous equipment that's inside this vehicle has to be properly padded and taped.
These long boxes for the house, yeah, for the outside.
All of this is done to get a complete fighting force on the ground quickly, usually in a third of the time it would take to get them there any other way. Once they hit the ground and find their equipment, they become infantrymen. But not just any infantrymen. Some of the 82nd paratroopers become the top infantrymen in the business. The Army calls them Rangers.
Alpha team, have you established an LOA yet?
Oh, sir.
Here at Fort Bragg, they go through a rigorous pre-ranger course. Becoming a paratrooper is tough enough. Training to become a ranger on top of that is brutal.
Roger, you guys leaving the area? Over?
We're still in the area.
Here, the airborne soldiers in pre-ranger school are out on a simulated scouting mission where they encounter enemy fire.
Most of the time, you know, the war is fought on a computer nowadays, or it's in the air. But if it came down to actually being on the battlefield when they hit the ground, these guys, being Ranger qualified, would be better prepared than the average soldier.
No matter what the 21st century brings, there will always be the need to have soldiers on the ground, and they will still have to get there quickly.
Let her go. Oh, she's a good one.
So the 82nd Airborne trains day and night for its two main jobs, making war and keeping peace.
Well, there'd be approximately 600 paratroopers going out the door today. To be honest with you, this is a normal day in 82nd Troop, so these guys are loving it. They're happy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
In the 10 minutes time warning, they'll turn around and give them a 10 minutes. At that time, the jumpers will then, jump masters go ahead and still stand up. And the next command will be hook up. They'll turn around and hook their static lines up to the anchor line cable. And both jump masters on both doors will lick each other and give each other a thumbs up, and then give the jumpers a command of stand by. At that time of standby, the jumpers will turn around and extend their arms all the way out. So therefore, they give their arms a 1 second interval in between jumpers. Now at that time, the jumpers will continue to exit until everybody's out of the aircraft.
At the same time these peacekeepers are jumping, another unit of the 82nd is practicing a combat jump.
What we're trying to do tonight is it's very similar to what we'd actually do in combat. The key to this whole piece is conducting an airfield seizure, airborne assault, and basically what we try to do is seize an airfield in order to bring in follow-on forces to build up combat power. In this case, we're going to put approximately 600 paratroopers on the ground in less than about 61 seconds.
This time the heavy drop has gone in, the airborne assault is complete. This time the soldiers are on the drop zone assembling, gaining accountability, getting their minimum force requirements so that they can begin the assault.
This is exactly what the 82nd does for a living.
And this is what they do best, jumping and fighting. And they wouldn't have it any other way.
That drive to get the mission accomplished, that we call it the airborne spirit. It's like an electric charge, just the motivation and the spirit of these troopers. You ask them to do something, they're going to do it.
They like it here. There's an energy and an enthusiasm here you won't find in any other division.
Airborne Ranger!
I don't care if you're an officer or you're a sergeant or you're an enlisted man. This is a special place to soldier. And it's a special division. And it always has been.
When you put that beret on, and you got the AA on your shoulder, it means a lot. You know that you're ready for anything.